Hey, what's up, everyone? We are back and we're live. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching. Much appreciated as always. And today we're going to jump right into developing or writing website content or copy for our website for Pixel Media. This is if you're new here, this is the first time seeing any of these videos or these live streams. I'm documenting the process of creating a company that is hopefully going to generate $1 million of revenue annually. That's the idea. And we're focusing on building a company that specializes in doing web design, web development, and as well as audiovisual production and content generation. So that's what we're doing. And today we're going to go right ahead and jump into, oh, of course, my phone is ringing. One second here. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody calling wanting to know what what my company name was. All right, so where are did the camera change the angle? I guess it's kind of the same. Okay, where were we? We are going to work on content. So can we do a quick overview of what happened yesterday? So yesterday, what did we do? That's the mouse pad there. Yeah. So yesterday we were starting to work on some concepts for the layout of the website, and we got some ideas, and I've been thinking about it as well last night, and I think we're on the right track here. I'm liking how this is going. And we talked about what we need now is to write content. So that content is going to help shape how we're going to kind of design the website. Depending on how much, I mean, I don't want to have too many words here, but yeah, if there's sections that have, a lot of copy, then it's going to dictate a little bit more how the design is going to go. So I think this will be a good kind of keep it on here just for me to give an idea. I do have a list of the pages as well too. Right, too. Okay. So I have this page kind of already ready to go. Let's zoom in here so you guys can see. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. Oh, all right. Here's our website copy. So the different pages, of course, we're going to have a home page. I do have the spacing. That's okay. We'll worry about that later. Home page, of course, work page, services, process, and contact. So work, I guess there's also the news/blog. Not so sure exactly kind of if it should be called news or blog or what have you, but we're gonna need that page. Okay. So let's see all the different types of content that I could kind of maybe riffle off the top of my head. Usually takes me quite a while to develop content and copy because I mean, you want to, like I said, clarity is a huge thing for a website. When a visitor lands on your page, they need to know exactly what the hell it is that you do. And to know exactly if, you know, your company, your product, your services are fit for what it is that they're doing, right? So your copy is hugely important. I mean, there's considerations of search engine optimization, but honestly, I don't worry about that, especially at the start of a new website. You're not going to be bolting up number one in the search rank for, you know, web design. So, especially such a nebulous term. So write good copy, make sure it's clear and concise and conveys the information that you want it to convey. And then you could worry about little tweaks here and there in terms of optimizing for search. And there's other things you could do as well too in terms of metadata tags and all that kind of stuff on the website. But we'll get into that later when we actually start building the site. So let's take a look here at the homepage. And what font are we? I think we're articulate. Extra bold. I like that for the title. Okay. I should probably lay out a template here for Pixel so all the Word files are consistent. Okay. One thing at a time. Always getting drawn with things to do. Okay, homepage. So I think we had something like, so we need the call to action, right? So we build websites / brands that make your customers fall in love with you, your business. I kind of like that because saying something like that tells you what you do. We build websites or we build brands. And we build brands, not only just shit brands, but we build brands that make your customers fall in love with your business. AKA, we'll build your brand so that you'll be able to make more money. And is there anything else that we can do? Hang on a second. I'm going to bring up something here. Is there anything else that we can say? So this is the big title. Should there be like a subheading? You know, you know, like, Pixel is you know, yeah. I'm just thinking like, you know, Pixel is a whatever, you know, digital media company with, okay, this is really bad. This is just a placeholder with a this is kind of stupid, but with a love of like design processes. And that's where it's like a learn more about our process. Something like that. Does that make sense? Or is that, yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think today in this live stream, there's probably going to be a lot more silence as I'm kind of thinking. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be talking as I think out loud, but I do think that we could use some music today because it's probably going to be a little bit quieter. So let's play some stream beats. Let me know if the volume is too loud or too low, because I'm not sure how much of this might be coming through. I think that's too loud. Turn that down a bit. You know, is there something to be said about, you know, like we're a global, you know, media media company. These are like little sayings. I don't want it to be too cliche. I mean, we're global in the sense like what? Like, have I done anything global? No. Will I work with anybody around the world? Yes. You know, I mean, so far I've only worked with clients in Canada. So, I mean, we could definitely say national. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then below that, we're going to be showcasing our work. Again, this is still on the home page. Could put my company in there. How many do I need to do on the home page? Probably 3. Yeah, I think 3 will be good. Yeah. Yeah, the couple other ones aren't really live yet. Okay. So are we going to say anything? I think what we're going to have is we're just going to have an image. One image. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the right balance of the volume here for when I'm hearing in my headphones for the music. So, where am I? One image per featured company. And I think we're just going to show, and then we're going to have just the company name. And is there even anything else we want to put on there? We could put the services that we're offering. So like company name, services. So yeah, and then the picture. Yeah, super minimal. I think that's all we need. So this is the hero. And then I don't know what this is called. It's like the sub-hero. This is not the actual term. There's got to be, I'm sure there's some kind of wording for that. What's the word I'm looking for? Here's an example, like Shopify, right? You have your hero thing, and then you have whatever this is called, right? You know, what is it you do? And then, you know, maybe just more details like this guy. I mean, global commerce platform. Oh, they even changed that. That's cool. Commerce for the world. And this is what you can do. You can build your business, blah, 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 blah. So whatever that's called, I don't know what it's called, but let's throw that over on that side. But that's what this thing is. And then the call to action, which will go to the process page. And here's where it should be like global, national, like digital media. Yeah. Or just media. With a love of, yeah, I don't know. That's not quite right. Maybe like with a, I don't know, something like with a unique design. I mean, it's just not the design process is not unique. I mean, it's pretty consistent no matter where you go. Okay, so then the news section. Okay, put a pin on that one. So then you go down to the news section, and then that's just like recently the news. So there's nothing going to be there. So just like featured news, latest articles from the journal, something like that. And so then maybe we call it a journal, because maybe this is more of a documentary style type blog, right? Where you're not necessarily giving tips and tricks or anything like that, or stories about like the industry, but it's more of talking about the clients that we work with, the processes that we do. Yeah, just almost like an organic journal where I could imagine in the future, employees could come in and kind of get a handle on this journal and have it be almost like a manual or a handbook for like our philosophy and our culture and, you know, how we do things over at Pixel. So that would be kind of cool. So I kind of like that. So featured, and instead of it being news then or articles, it's stories, because then we're telling stories. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's a list. And then you have whatever, 2 of the latest, or maybe the most popular journal posts. Okay, and then you go down from the featured section, and then what do we have? Did we mark this down? Did we think that far ahead? We had news. I think that was it. I don't think we got too far. So what else could we have before there? It would be really cool if we had like a show reel, but I think we're going to get to that later on. And what do I mean by show reel? Am I allowed to show other things on websites? I can't imagine why wouldn't it be, or why that would be. What's the word I'm looking for? Like copyright issues. Let me see if I can bring up this website that has a really cool, what's it called? I think it's this website. Yeah. Okay. So it'd be really cool to have something like this. So this is a media company, Climate. This is their website. And then you go on here, and then I think you just click here. Oh, well, this video doesn't exist. Anyways, from what I remember, this was like a really kind of cool video that was playing. And it's just like a 1 minute show reel of different clips that they've had from, you know, that they've taken from work that they've done, clients that they've worked with, and then also like some nice animations for showcasing like websites and design stuff that they've done. So it was pretty cool. So something like that would be kind of cool. Okay, well, let's get that out. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, in the future, I have a show reel. So having some kind of content. Can we have something here where it's like a discussion of of known, client issues? Where we're talking about how do we frame this? Where issues could be, having difficulty connecting with your audience. Little engagement in social media. Disconnect between employees and also the customers to the brand. What are the problems? I mean, the obvious problem is just, inefficient or just poorly is that 2 N's? 2 F's? Something like that, of course, is a problem. So you discuss the issues and quickly highlight how Pixel, can help solve them. Yeah. But what does that look like? I don't know. I did start writing some copy before for a different website. Oh, cool. Let's see. Yeah. Not too much there. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work. Okay. So let's try to make some headway on some things that we know we can knock off quickly, and then we'll see what we can do for like digging into the weeds. also going to be bold. Yeah, it's annoying. Okay. I think one of the things that I would like to convey in this is that, for Pixel, is that we like to talk to people on a personal level, on a human level. So there's this thing that I remember thinking of is human-centric. So, yeah, so I guess it's just like, is that even spelled right? Human-centric or even human-centered? I don't know what would work better. Human-centric, process. And like, I don't know, with your business in mind. Does that make sense? Yeah, not sure if that makes the most sense. Human-centric, centered process with your business in mind. I mean, the idea, what I'm trying to convey here is that throughout the whole process, we're going to talk to you on a human level, and we're going to keep your business in mind the whole time, and that it's always centered around you. And then, of course, what's best for your business, not about what's best for me or for Pixel, right? It's about what's best for your business. So I guess, I know for me, like for doing this for so long, that it's just really, really important to make sure that the person comes first, right? So I guess what we can say, that's the title. And then subtitle. Like our process was born out of almost 2 decades of experience. Like building. Yeah, I have experience and lessons learned building websites and brands for businesses. Should I say like small and medium size? Have I done anything for big businesses? I guess, how do you classify as big? Or we could just say businesses of all sizes. Come one, come all. Yeah, something like that. I don't know if this is necessary. Because there's a couple of... Our process was born out of almost 2 decades of experience. Our process was born out of experience and lessons learned. Excuse me. What sounds better? Our process was born out of experience and lessons learned, building websites and brands for businesses of all sizes. Our process was born out of almost 2 decades of experience and lessons learned. The experience and lessons learned is a little bit clunky. A little bit clunky. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit clunky. Sorry, I'm just checking over here. What's going on? Was born out of experiences and learned in almost 2 decades of building websites. Our process was born out of experience and lessons learned in almost 2 decades of building websites and brands for businesses of all sizes. I think that works. That works. That works. What is the process? Process, of course, is initial discussions. To determine problem and if Pixel can, can provide solutions. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is, we have initial discussions. And then, so that's, I guess, like, I don't know what the terms here are going to be called. So a proposal. Proposal sent. And then if it's approved, just have a quick kickoff meetings. I'm not a fan of meetings. I like to work asynchronously as well. Is that a word? So for example, it's nice. So there's a whole process that I'm going to have, an onboarding process for customers. And I think for me and what I've heard, definitely for me, and of course this is really important, like the first 24 to 48 hours are super, super important. Like when somebody writes a check, and if it's a big check, $5,000, $25,000, whatever it is, you want to know right from the get-go that you've like reinforced the decision that yes, this was a right decision. This was a good decision. And so what we do in that first initial whatever time period is super, super important. So that's something that I got to figure out internally. I guess we'll do it here live at some point, is to figure out what exactly we do in that first 24 hours once a customer actually agrees to work with us, right? So I'm not sure what that's going to be. That's more of an internal thing. It's not like that's going to be on the website. It's like, oh, you get a handwritten note, you get a thank you email. That's going to be internal. But part of that is going to be scheduling a time to have like a kickoff meeting. And that kickoff meeting is going to be a place where, let me make sure where's my screen? Yeah, okay. Just make sure I'm showing the right screen. Where was I? Oh, the purpose of that kickoff meeting is going to be for me to be able to convey what the entire process is really going to look like and kind of lay things out in a way that makes sense for what we discussed about during the initial discussions of figuring out what the scope of the work was and what it is exactly Pixel's going to do. And then it's going to kind of lay everything out in terms of maybe it could be like a general timeline, or it could be kind of how we work in terms of how feedback is done, whether we send you guys like a company, certain links to review or whatever. So anyways, all those details, that's what's going to come out here. So kickoff meeting, and that's the initial discussion on how the process is going to work specifically for the client, and outline how the project is going to proceed. If that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Process was born, blah, blah, blah. So initial discussions, proposal, we have the kickoff meeting, and then, what is it? I mean, like, then there's work. So I think what it could be is like a discussion of like asynchronous feedback. / iterations. Oh, iterations. There we go. So yeah, I mean, like it depends on what it is that we're doing, right? So if it's just building a not just building a website, but if it's building a website, right, then there's the specific stages. And what are those stages going to be, right? You know, there's wireframing, there's page layouts, there's then you get into designing, and then there's content creation, depending on who's going to be responsible for creating the content. Then there's functionality that needs to be tested and approved, right? So all these things, there's different stages where you show the work to the client and then they give the thumbs up, you know, or the thumbs down, and then you can go ahead and move on from there, right? So I don't know what to call that part of the process, but that's just the asynchronous feedback and iterations. And then from there, I mean, I guess, I don't know if this is simplifying it too much. Yeah, we want to keep it simple here. We don't want to get too complicated. And this is primarily, I guess it's primarily kind of, it should be primarily for like developing brands or websites. I guess branding, websites. I mean, the process will be a little bit different if it's going to be, you know, shooting some video, which is a little bit different. But you still have the discussions. Initially, you have a kickoff meeting, and then you are going to, I guess that the feedback and iterations are going to be the same thing, because instead of developing a website, this is developing like a storyboard and a whole plan for how the shoot and whatever the video is going to need to be. So after that, then there's of course delivery, or well, I could say there's testing, and then there's delivery, and then there's training as well. Delivery / launch, and then training. So it'd be nice to get an even number, or just is testing included in this? I mean, things are being tested constantly as it's being developed. Testing throughout. Yeah. So that could give us 6 kind of little buckets here, which kind of fit in nicely to, you know, onto a website or a page. No odd numbers here. Yeah. So that's it. So maybe discussion, you know, our process, I don't know, puts you in the driver's seat. So I'm just thinking out loud here. Puts you in the driver's seat. To ensure that your input is, this is not right, but at each step of the way. That, I mean, that this is worded very horribly, but yeah. I think it's just good for me, what I'm doing right now. I'm just writing anything that comes to mind. And it's going to be horrible. And you're probably cringing right now if you're looking at this. But, you know, it's just to get started. This is a starting point. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oop. Okay. What's after the process page? So we have services. Services, what do we have? So of course there's web design, web development, video production. So the video production, I mean, that's something, I wonder if that's So this is, again, I'm just writing this down now because this is not going to be something that's going to be available at the start. But again, I love the idea to have a studio and I can have something set up where we can do audio video podcasts. Man, I'm thinking like, is it worth trying to figure out where we can go to get some office space to be able to do something like this? How popular would it be? I mean, the thing is, I mean, podcasting is so popular right now. And the thing too that I always think about is it the best time to get into something when it's at its, at its peak? Because remember back in the day, back in 2000, 2005, 6, 7, having a blog was the biggest thing, right? You could launch a blog and be a millionaire doing blogging. Then it was video. Then it was getting up on YouTube, becoming a YouTuber, all that stuff. And of course, you can still do those things today. Of course, it's not, it's, but it gets a bit harder to get yourself out there because of the fact that the market gets more and more saturated, right? But there's always room for people to come up. So that's not what I'm saying at all. That's the point of what I'm saying here. And then after that, then it's podcasting. So podcasting is the big thing, right? And then live streaming is a big thing as well too. I don't know where that sits in the hierarchy. But you see a lot of creators going from doing, video, like not long form video, but video where you script and you take all that time to produce video, to doing lots of live streaming stuff, to creating their content from there, and then taking a live stream and then cutting that up and using that for social media promotion, all that kind of stuff. So the question is, what's going to be the next thing? What's going to be the next big way to communicate to your audience? I don't know. But either way, having some type of studio, I mean, it's always great because you can have multi-purposes for studios. This podcast place would be a great place to do a podcast, but it'll also be a great place to film courses for people if somebody wants to create a course. Oh man, to be able to just get some big, huge, like industrial garage type place. Man, I'm starting to dream now, and thinking about what I would do if I was building a house. If I had money to build a house, I'd just build this all on my property. But that might come sooner than we think. Stay tuned. Okay, getting way ahead of myself here. Okay, audio video podcasts, another service. What else did we do? I think there's another. Yes, let's bring this up here. This is the document we worked on the other day. And what did we have services? I guess we didn't really do things for specific services. Oh, we got some stuff here. Oh, then of course we just do like brand development. So I do know, yeah. I don't want to be, I don't want to get too, like those services pages, we even saw them yesterday where they're listing off like a million services. It's like, what are the core things that you can do? And of course there's things that are like built into that, I guess you can say, right? Like for web design, you put in search engine optimization and mobile responsiveness and blah, 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 all these other things. Like that's there, right? You don't need, I guess I kind of see why people would do that. But I guess for me, in terms of what my brand is and who I am, is I'm very minimal by nature in the work that I do and how I communicate things in the sense that I want to communicate the bare minimum of what I need to in order for you to understand that I can do the job for you, that I'm the right one for the job, right? So by slapping a service page and putting in 50 different things that we do, that doesn't make sense to me, and that dilutes the message. The message is You want a brand, you want an amazing brand to look sharp, and you want that brand to align with your values and to your customers, Pixel Media, that's what we do. There's a million different little things that go into doing that, but that is at the heart of what we do. I don't want someone calling me, hey, can you make me a quick Microsoft, here's $200, give me a little template for like letterheads or whatever. Like, that's all part of the brand. That's all part of branding. It's not, Pixel is not a place where you go to like just create these little one-off things and products, right? So, unless it's part of the whole overall package, right? And that's where we talk in the kickoff meeting and the proposal stage and, the discovery. And we try to figure out what it is exactly that the client is going to want. And then we put that in there, right? So all that kind of information will get out there. So all that being said, so we have web design, web development, so video production. So, course creation. Yeah, I like that because that's part of also a website, right? A website where you can launch your own course and have your own payment processing or whatever and not have to pay ridiculous fees through other places where you can launch a course. Unless you want to launch a course on like Udemy or something like that too. That's perfectly fine. You just take your files and whatever and you pay their fees. But, yeah, it all depends on what the user is going to want. But so what do I mean by video production? Like, what do I want to do? I think like company videos, like corporate videos, I guess I would say, where you're getting obviously talking head interviews. Let me write this down instead of just talking. Corporate videos. So you have talking head shots. It's just like a 2-minute, like those 2-minute corporate videos, what we're all about videos. This is that talking head plus B-roll type footage. Right. Let me, what do we have here? All right. Social media content. So this is where if somebody wants like a content creation services, where that is the recurring revenue with that. Like if a company's like, I want a branding and it's, it's a big project, it's $50,000 rebrand. Great. You just do that. And then they get their stuff. They get a new website, blah, 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 materials. There you go. Pleasure doing business with you. Call us if you need anything, if you have any help, any issues, if you have technical support, whatever. That's perfect. But if you want content creation, that's going to be like a I don't want to say like long term, but right, like you're always going to need new fresh content, right? Like if you're constantly posting stuff on Instagram or you're constantly posting stuff on, TikTok or whatever, you're going to need those videos that are going to be created all the time. And if you want to have, whatever more professional looking videos or content, then, you can come with us and that's what we can do. So there's so many creators out there. If you follow anybody that has any kind of like, if you ever just take a second to think about all the creators that are popular on like say Instagram, for example, you say like they have all those pictures that are really nice looking, whatever, highly curated. A lot of those people, they'll either hire people to come out and do photo shoots with them, like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and say like, okay, we're going to spend like the day, we're going to go out and we're going to shoot all these different pictures at these different locations. They change outfits and all that kind of stuff. And they get all their content for the week or the month or whatever it is. and then schedule it, and then just put it all. Like this is it's a business, so people want that type of content creation as well too. So that's what we can do, and that's could be a recurring thing. Not, I mean, it could definitely be a one-off thing, but here we're kind of looking at more for somebody who wants to retain somebody for a recurring thing. I think, anyways, we'll see how things go, right? Like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, we might launch the business, and in 6 months, all we're getting is websites, or all we're getting are people that want to do courses. I have no idea, right? Maybe we're not getting much of content like at all. Maybe nobody wants to do that. Maybe the price is just way too much for the people, and the people that can't afford it, maybe they have in-house capabilities. I guess there's gonna have to be that sweet spot. So yeah, that's all the game. That's why I love business. It's just trying to figure stuff out. It's like problem solving. Trying to solve problems. Okay, so oh my goodness, I don't know how to craft this at all. I mean, this is cheesy. It's like, whether you're looking for a blog, a company, this is a company website, or a whatever, right? Or a, application, Pixel does it all. I almost feel like that should be one. Let's just call that web design. So, I mean, we could talk about this in a vein of something like, what could we say? Like, you know, so it's really cheesy. I'm just trying to think of ways of saying, like, you know, your website is very, very important, and it's often the central driving factor of everything that you do in order to communicate with your audience. You know. Yeah. So all this stuff here, I'm just thinking, you know. And that could be, I'm kind of saying it up there as well. That could be between staff. Could also be customers. Yeah. And just growth. And you just take the next step to the big 8-figure buyout. I'm just trying to think here if there's like larger buckets that this stuff can fit in. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if that should be just put down to like 4. So web design. Content creation. Yeah. Because in here you can have podcast, course, just video. So it's almost like, I wonder if you can put it as like 3 pillars where, you know, your content creation, that is what you say. Everything about that you're putting out there is like what you're saying. And your brand strategy and your branding, of course, aligns how you say it. You know, your brand dictates how you communicate with your customers, how everything's going to look, how everything's going to behave, what emotions you want your people to say. So that's the how part of the communications. And then like your web design and your web presence or whatever that is, that's like the delivery mechanism, you know, and how you're going to actually reach out, you know, how are you going to communicate your brand? How are you going to communicate who you are, what you do, whatever? Not how are you going to communicate, but how people are going to access it. It's like the technology behind your brand, getting it out there, and then your content creation, which, you know, so the brand is the how, the content is the what, and maybe the web design is like the who or something like that. Yeah. Oh, it's something like that. But of course, like the what, like I guess the question is kind of how does this tie into like the whole why of a company? Why? I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Simon Sinek now. What is it? What's his book called? Great companies start with why or something like that. No, I can't even. No, I gotta look it up. Gotta look it up. It's a fantastic book. What does he gotta? Oh, start with why. That's the book. Okay. So start with why. Yeah, like every company needs to be able to know why it is that they do what they do, and then from the why, then you kind of have the how you do what you do, and then everything kind of stems from there. So I'm trying to think of this whole process of Pixel. If you work with us, the first step of our process is to right. This is good. It's like understand your why. So we want to understand why it is you do what it is that you do. And then when we understand why you need to do what you do, we put together a proposal to showcase how we think we're going to give you, or how we think we're going to be able to communicate to your audience what it is that you do, why you do what it is you do, and of course how you do it is the technology, the whatever that we're going to use to deploy to be able to create that message across. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my mind, but I'm just not really articulating it quite right just yet. But I'll get there. So it's like the process is, we learn about why you do what you do so we can make sure your customers know it, your staff know it, and is this going the right way? I don't know why you do what you do, so your customers know what your staff know. I mean, that's a big part of branding, right? Is to be able to get your message across. So there's a sync. And it's just, and so you and your customers are in sync. And can focus on the how. I don't know, something like that. The how and the what. So getting back. So when we're writing these description, so let me just make a note for myself. So when I'm writing it, we just need to make sure that the message points back to the fact that these services help and does that make sense? So yeah, it's like, we build websites. Yeah, great. Everybody builds websites. But how do you build websites? And what is the method of, like, we build them in a way that'll enable you to connect more with your customers, right? But say it in a way that's way more elegant than that. Yeah. What is this? Sorry. I'm just looking at this guy's website. So this is the book. He wrote Start With Why. What does he do? The Optimism Library. No, man. I don't even want to know how much this stuff costs. My. Choose your master trainer. Schedule 3 sessions. Meet on Zoom. 3 sessions for 4 hours. $5,000. And get in with one of these trainers. Woohoo! But you know what? So I'll say something about this, about the pricing for getting access to people. If I could sit down with like someone like Simon or whatever and pick his brain for like an hour or two, and it was something like $10,000 or whatever, that would be, phenomenal. And that would, that would be so valuable. That would be worth that price, because I would be able to take that information and be able to implement it into my company and into my business to do better business, right? So it's not always just about looking at the actual price tag of something. And yeah, some things are expensive, but you also get what you pay for. There was some video I saw. This is total tangent as I'm procrastinating from thinking about how to write this copy. It was a video. I can't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of, this guy emailed like some kind of like a psychologist, and said something like, how much do you make a month, or whatever it was. Or was it how much do you make in a month, or how much you make in a day? Or maybe, yeah, it's like, how much do you make in a month, or something like that. And then, whatever the number was, $10,000 or something. I don't know. It's probably more than that, but whatever. The thing is, and the guy said like, okay, well, you know what? What if I paid you $10,000 just to sit down and talk to you for one day? And then she was like, yeah, like, of course, that's amazing. And then what the guy said is like, I got to sit down for a full day and pick this person's brain who has like 20 years of experience in psychology. I could pick their brain for a whole hour. And the person like prepared like this whole presentation or whatever it was. And he's like, I got 20 years worth of education in 1 hour for like $10,000, right? Like, good luck finding value like that anywhere else, right? So it's all a matter of perspective and value. And with all that being said, that's what I need to be able to illustrate within Pixel, right? Of what kind of value are you going to be getting by spending $50,000 on a website, right? Or on a branding thing, right? It's not just, you're not just getting a website. You're getting a whole way to communicate your mission and your vision to your staff, and then also to your audience, and to be able to make sure that everything is in sync together, so that you know who your market is and they know who you are, and then you can what you're selling, who you're selling to, and you just go out there and you just do the job, right? And then you scale. So yeah, how do I write this down? Oh man. I feel like I'm gonna have to rewatch myself talk about this kind of stuff, just so I can bring out some nuggets of information, because I'm not really listening to myself sometimes anyways. I just talk. I just go off and that's that. So what do I want here? I just want a 1 paragraph of each one of these services. So web design, brand strategy, content creation. Do we want to do communication? I don't think that's really... I mean, I'm kind of doing that now already, but... I think we'll keep it at these three. Yeah, we'll keep it at those three, and then yeah. Right. So, for example, your brand. I like this better. Strategy, not development. You know. Hmm. So just logo. Okay, this is bad. You know, from how you answer the phone. Blah blah blah. So it's like you identify like how important branding is. What you? You know, whatever your brand strategy is a guide. You know, it's your home base for understanding and guiding each one of those interactions. Something like that. Okay, that's not important right there. How do I say this one? That's kind of weird. It's like not the extension, but it's like dissemination, which is a bad word. And that's probably not how you spell it. Yeah, something like that. That's horrible. That's horrible. I have to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I like the excuse me, I like the idea of thinking about tying everything to your brand and how everything that we do helps you communicate communicate what that is so you can resonate with your market. Yeah. Okay, I'm going. Getting rid of all that stuff. So we got the process, services. And the work page is, again, that's just going to be on an individual project basis. Or we're going to have to write that out too. Oh, that's going to be boring. And then let's go contact. So, I mean, something like this is pretty straightforward where we're just talking about, if they're interested in working with us or what have you, then, you can just contact us, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking at something and talking at the same time. So contact is going to be very straightforward. It's just for people we can get some general information about the person and who it is, and then they'll be able to, get in touch with us, and we can see if we're a fit. So, I mean, I guess we can. I don't like to say that word. I don't even know if we need to get that specific. Yeah. And what we can help you with. Something like that. And then we're going to collect name, email, company name, and then so this is where, it'll be a drop down selection where they can request, or they can say, they want web design, brand strategy. I wonder if there should be, I'm just thinking, so brand strategy, it's helping a company develop a strategy. But what about the actual visual identity? Like creating all the items. Is that part of the strategy? I feel like it might even be like another one, right? Okay, so how would that work? So company, comes up and says, hey, we like the work you do. We want to work with you to develop, a strategy of how we're going to, communicate this new product to our customers. So they can come to us and we could discuss how they can go about doing their communications. And it could also be about, so strategy, I guess we could do it differently, because the visual identity is like, okay, well, I need a new logo. I need letterheads. I need a new PowerPoint presentation, all that kind of stuff. And then the strategy part is something different where we, I guess, you form the foundations, and that's where I guess it comes from, the why you do what you do, and you develop kind of a template for how it's going to work. Yeah. Or maybe, do I want to get that in depth and complex? Yeah. So you have web design, and then you have, so if you have, well, this is just really fast here. Just your logo, I don't say fonts, business cards, colors, typography, all that stuff, right? So we build out the look and feel of everything. But see, that's also part of the web design. Anyways, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I guess you can almost think of it as it's like the elements of a brand, right? I'll show you the brand guide. It's going to be part of my portfolio, I guess, of doing visual identity as well as brand strategy. I'm almost done a brand guide for the Ocean Frontier Institute, which has been a really fun project. So yeah, that'll be on full display, I guess. All right. So 4 services then. So they'll be able to should they be able to? Like, I mean, is somebody going to come to me and say like, hey, we want a brand strategy, and like that's it? I'm like, nah, I don't really want to work with you. And like, if someone says they just want, sorry, I guess I could do this when I'm just starting to monologue. I guess someone can say, hey, yeah, I want to do a website. And I want to do, some visual identity, but forget about the strategy. We don't need to worry about that. So then it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's just like developing. I guess we can. I mean, but that's not, you're not doing any research. You're not doing any market analysis. Yeah. Sorry. So I'm just thinking now about this contact form, and if I want to have people to be able to select what they want. I'm leaning towards no. I just want to have, yeah, that's not what you want to see. I am leaning towards just having the, description of problem and time frame when you need this by. And what will be the last thing? What's your budget? And this is where I want there to be a range. Should it be a range, or should it be just a field? I feel like maybe we should just have a field, so they can add in what their budget is. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe a range is better, because if you just force someone, not force, but if you just say, go ahead, put in a number, and just say like, well, minimum is $10,000. Is everyone just going to put in $10,000? But if you have a field or like a drop down where it's like, what's your budget? Then it's like 10 to 20, 20 to 40, whatever. And there's ranges. Maybe then they're like, oh, 100. Yeah, well, actually I do have 100,000. So they put it in there. But would someone put $100,000 in if it's just a blank field where they can just put in kind of whatever? I don't know. I think that's one of those things where it's going to be a like trial and error as what works and what doesn't work, right? So, or like trial and error in the sense that I'll have the contact form on my website, and then it's like, okay, well, are we getting people filling it out accurately, or are we getting people just, basically lying about what their budget is? So, and then figuring out what we can do about that. So I think all that being said, stop going to the overhead. All that being said, we're going to have it as a, range. So what do we want to have? Yeah, I feel like yeah. I mean, this stuff is in depth. So and then anything under this will go under the the cheap co. The new Pixel, the smaller Pixel's a baby brother. I'm trying to think of what some good ranges should be here. Should it be like this? No, this is better. And then 150,000 plus. Yeah, 15 to 25. Is this too much of a jump? No, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so we got the contact. I mean, you know, there's not too much to it. So we have the content, we have the services where there's going to be just like 4 buckets of service things or text, you know, four services, and then 4, I don't know, I'll keep it on there since I'm scrolling. There. It's going to be the 4 service: brand strategy, visual design or visual identity, content creation, and web design, of course. And then in the process, it's going to lay out the 6 different stages of general stages of how we work. So asynchronous feedback iterations. And these, it's going to be a combination of video and images as well, or documents, you could say. And then, yeah, delivery, launch, and then training. Yep. Services, and then we have the home page. And these are the different pages. Yep. Okay, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep on this, and I think I'm going to take this offline in a sense and try to really refine this and just, you know, stop talking. You just kind of shut up and get to work and get this done. So I don't know how long this is going to take me. What time is it? So we're 4:30 my time here at Atlantic. And oh my goodness, I think I have a couple hours of work that I need to do for a client. And then I need to get, and then I have to get back to writing. Hopefully I can have a lot of this stuff figured out before tomorrow's live stream. And tomorrow I do have my course at 5:30. So we're going to be going live probably around the same time, probably around 3 o'clock, maybe even closer to 3:30. We'll see. I'll know more in the morning to know when will be good to go live, because I would like to review this again, just talk to you guys out loud. It helps me think, helps me clarify my thoughts, or makes it more confusing. I don't know, muddies my thoughts more. Yeah. So we'll do that. So I think that'll be the plan for tomorrow, is to just review and maybe refine any of the content that hopefully tonight I could make some good progress on here, off screen, offline. Yep. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I think this is a good place to stop. So as always, thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And as always, let me know what you think. If you have any ideas for copy, or anything that sounds really cool in terms of how people could take the why of their company and what they do, figure out what their whole strategy is, and then turn that into actionable, content or whatever. All that stuff of how I'm trying to encapsulate and talk about the services and what we do. If you have any ideas on how I can make that better, let me know. Or maybe you don't want to give away your secrets for free. Let me know how much it's going to cost too. Thanks as always, and we'll see you tomorrow.